I'm Jessie Nealand of Remodel Fitness, and this is the first of a three-part video series about stress and anxiety. This is an important topic for me because I've been working with women to make healthy and positive changes to their bodies and their lives for the past 8 years, and I've seen firsthand that stress and anxiety often stands directly in the way of achieving health and body goals, as well as costing you the ability to listen to and trust your body's signals. I've also been there myself, having experienced years of crippling social anxiety, so I know exactly how anxiety can affect your life, how it can make it seem impossible to break free and reach out, take risks, follow your heart. I used to spend a lot of time and energy managing and controlling my anxiety because that's what people say you have to do, but it never seemed to get better. And I now believe that trying to manage your stress and anxiety is just too superficial of a solution. And I'm passionate about guiding women deeper inside their own hearts and minds in order to address the anxiety at its source instead of managing it as it grows. That's why I created an 8-week course called Remodel Stress, which teaches women how to do exactly that. And next week I'll be opening enrollment for the fall session, but I created this 3-part video series to share some quick practices that you can put to use immediately based on some of the material that I give in the course. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about clinical anxiety here. Anxiety can be a very real medical issue that needs to be overseen by a medical professional. My advice is not intended to be a replacement for medication or therapy. This is just some of the valuable insights and practices that I've learned through helping women love themselves and live bigger, juicier lives by getting rid of anxiety. So, while the deep sources of anxiety varies dramatically from person to person, the inner environment required for anxiety to thrive is the same for everyone. That's why the following 2 techniques I'm going to teach you today are applicable to anyone who's experiencing any kind of anxiety, because it's not about getting to the root cause, not yet. It's just about fostering an inner environment that makes it difficult or even impossible for anxiety to survive. So there's 2 things that anxiety needs to survive, and number 1 is tension. Anxiety needs physical tension to survive, literally. It's been proven that you cannot feel certain emotions like fear or anger without some level of physical tension. The more tension in our bodies, the more those emotions thrive, which means that when we have chronically tight and tensed up bodies, we've actually created the ideal environment for anxiety to survive and thrive. And this is why the first practice I'm going to teach you for getting rid of excess anxiety is to release physical tension. Most people walk around with chronic physical tension, at various places in our bodies for various number of reasons. But the way that we sit at work might be one, or the way we carry our bags, or the way we hold our bellies in to look thin. All that's physical tension. Often that tension, when it's done over the long term like that, is so deeply ingrained in our bodies that you won't actually just be able to flip a switch and let go. It takes practice, it takes an ongoing awareness, and sometimes it takes the use of powerful releasing techniques like soft tissue work or actually reprogramming the way that you breathe and move. In Remodel Stress, I go more in depth about physical tension, how to address it, but if you're chronically anxious, I highly recommend exploring different modalities of physical release for yourself, aiming to reduce chronic physical tension as much as possible. That having been said, you can start right now by taking 3 deep, slow breaths. It might not seem like 3 breaths could have much of an effect, but due to the parasympathetic quality, the calming quality of a slow and full exhale, this practice done a few times a day can go a long way towards reducing chronic physical tension and holding, and therefore, anxiety. For extra credit, take a few seconds longer on your exhale than your inhale. And engage your mind as well by imagining gathering up all the excess tension in your body on the inhale. And then imagine letting go of it all, releasing it from your body on the exhale. Big, full exhale. Get all the air out of your belly. Try it right now, and try it anytime you feel especially anxious, and see if you can feel your physical body relaxing and your anxiety receding. The second thing that anxiety needs to survive is ambiguity. One of the biggest differences between anxiety and fear is that fear has a direct target, and therefore it has a direct endpoint. Anxiety is ambiguous and either has no target, or it has a completely unrelated or inaccurate target, or the target is amorphous and constantly shifting so that you can never quite locate or escape the danger, whatever that is. Which is why the second practice I'm going to teach you today is how to bring anxiety into clarity. So for this practice, I want you to make a giant list of everything that's scaring or bothering or stressing you out right now, using language that is as specific and detailed as possible. As you name each thing for exactly what it is, you might feel its power weaken or even disappear, because creating a list like this is effective for two reasons. The first is that it gets it out of your head. Whatever it was, it gets it out of your head, which relieves the feeling of responsibility to remember it. And the second is that it forces it out of ambiguity and into clarity, and it can't survive in clarity. Anxiety cannot survive clarity. For an extra bonus here, you can dig deeper by asking yourself why 3 times for each item on your list. For example, if you write, "I'm nervous I won't get the project done in time," ask yourself why. The answer might be, because if I don't get it done in time, I'll be in trouble with my boss. Ask yourself why again. Why would that bother you? Maybe because if I get in trouble with my boss one more time, people are going to think, that I'm flaky or I'm doing a bad job or whatever. One more time. Why would that bother me? Because it's important to me that people see me as reliable and good at my job. Well, great. Now you know what's really bothering you. Now you've gone past that superficial thing, the project that your brain's all abuzz about. You've gotten to the real thing that's actually bothering you, that you feel in danger of losing something very important to you, your credibility at your job. That is a much more powerful, a much more clear issue to deal with than some vague sense of impending doom about a project that doesn't really feel logical, or you have nothing to do about that, right? You have no job. You're just going to do your work and then, turn in the deadline or whatever. So you need to bring it into clarity by asking yourself why and going deeper if your answers all feel really superficial. When I teach this in my course, a lot of people are surprised by how effective it is in the moment, just to take a few slow, deep breaths and then specifically name the details of what's making them anxious. That having been said, these are still only short-term fixes to a much deeper and much more pervasive problem. And like I mentioned, I'm not satisfied with managing your stress and anxiety, because I think we should only ever manage things that we have no control over and that we have no chance of fundamentally improving. But you can fundamentally change and improve your stress and anxiety. So try these 2 practices today. But then be sure to tune into my next video, because that's where we're going to start digging a bit deeper. I'm going to teach you a practice to help alter your relationship to anxiety and explain why doing so has the power to profoundly reduce the amount of stress and anxiety that you experience. If you like the information in this video, be sure to leave me a comment and stay tuned for my next video, Anxiety's Purpose.